Hello everyone, welcome back to our C++ tutorials for beginners. In today's video, we are going to learn how to create a simple C++ program that calculates the area of a square, rectangle and triangle using the switch case. This is a great way to practice our C++ skills and get more comfortable with conditional statements. So let's read the question together.
Develop a simple application using switch case to calculate the area of the following shapes: square, rectangle, and triangle. Hint: the user should be able to perform any of the calculation and also press a key to terminate the program.
So we are going to follow about 4 steps to be able to solve this question. Our first step is that we will create our variables. So the variables needed for the square, rectangle and triangle are going to be created. Our next step is that we will display the options. So display options for square, rectangle and triangle, and also an option for the user to be able to create the program. After the user has made a choice or an option, you now jump to your switch case. So you switch through the options. So if the user enters an option for the square, you write a formula to calculate for the square. Okay. If the user enters rectangle, the same thing applies, and the same thing also applies for the triangle. After that, you are going to display the results for the shape that the user chose, and that will bring us to the end of our program. So with this, let's start writing our code. So as stated earlier, our first step is that we are going to create our variables. So I'll write a comment as create variables here. So create variables. The data type that I'm going to use for my variables will be float to be able to accept decimals. Let's begin with the triangle. To be able to calculate the area of a triangle, you need base and height. Okay, so I'll declare a variable for base and also height. Great. Now, I'll also move on to the rectangle. With the rectangle, I'll declare variables for length and width. Okay, so length and width. The last variable I'm going to declare will be for the square. So the square, I just need one side of the square to be able to calculate for the area of the square. So the variable name will be side of square. And that's it for my variables. But then I also need a variable for the option, okay? And with that one, I am going to declare an integer for it. And the variable name will be option. Now that I'm done with the creation of variables, I have to display the options, okay? So let me write a comment here as display options. So I'll first see out in double quotes, I'll write select a shape to calculate its area. So the user is supposed to select a certain shape to be able to calculate for its area. Okay, so let me end the line first before I move on to the next step. Great, so this is how I'll start. I'll tell the user that enter 1 for square, enter 2 for rectangle, enter 3 for triangle. Okay, so let's do that. Cout, enter 1 for square, so enter 1 for square. I'll end the line. The next one will be for rectangle. Okay, so cout, enter 2 for rectangle, and then I'll end the line. The next one is, let me capitalize the rectangle as I did for the square. But please, this is not compulsory, okay? Yeah, it's optional. What I'm doing is not compulsory. So my next step is that enter 3 for triangle. Then I'll end the line. Then lastly, I'll tell the user to enter 4 to create the program, okay? So see out, enter 4 to create the program. Okay, let me end the line. Great. So I have to allow the user to make an option, okay? So I'll see in here option for the user to be able to make an option. Yes. Now we are done with our first 2 steps. Our next step, remember, is that we are going to switch through the options, okay? So this is where we will bring our switch cases. So let me first write a comment here as switching through options. So this is the syntax for writing switch cases, okay? So write switch here, and inside this bracket you write your variable name. In this program, our variable name that we used was option, so we are going to write option here. After that, move outside the bracket and bring curly braces, okay? So inside these curly braces are where you are going to write something called cases, okay? So you start from the cases. Let's say case 1. In this program, we said that if the user enters 1, you are supposed to calculate for the square, okay? So let's say case 1, and then I'll bring a semicolon. Take note of the semicolon that I'm using, okay? Alright, so with case 1, what you are going to do is that you are supposed to ask the user to enter the side of the square, okay? So case 1, then you see out double less than in double quotes, right? Enter the side of the square. Sorry. So enter the side of the square, and then I'm going to end the line. Alright, and I have to see in, okay? So see in side of square, because that's what we are using. So side of square. Okay, so the user will be able to enter the side of the square. After this, you are supposed to calculate for the area, but I forgot to create a variable for area, so I'll move back, and where the float is, I'll add area to the variables, okay? So let me add area. So do that in your code as well to be able to calculate for the area. Alright, so area. Now that I've declared the area, I can now type it here. So I'll say area is equal to what? To calculate for the area of a square is what? The side squared, okay? So I'll say side of square multiplying itself, okay? So multiplying the side of square again. That's it for the area. After that, I have to display the answer to the user, okay? So I'll see out double less than in double quotes the area of the square is, and then I'll move outside the quote and add the area, okay? So area, very good. After that, I'll end the line as we always do. So let me end the line. Great. Now that we are done with the case 1, which was for the square, you are supposed to move to case 2. But in every switch case, after you write every case, you have to break it. Okay, so you write something called break to break it. So I'll write break here to be able to break it. If you don't bring the break, all the cases that follows the case 1 are going to be displayed as part of your program, but you don't want that to happen. That's why you are supposed to always break it. Let's move to case 2. Case 2 is for what? Let's go back. Case 2 is for rectangle. So you're going to calculate for rectangle. So write case and bring the 2. So with case 2, you ask the user to enter the length of the rectangle as well as the width. Okay, so I'll start by saying cout, enter the length, of the rectangle, and I'll end the line. So the user has to input it. Okay, so C in length, you declare that once already, so you C in length. Then we do same for the width as well. So let me just copy and paste and make changes. So Control V here. So enter, instead of length, it will be width rather. And then I'll C in for width. Great. Now, you also have to calculate for the area of the rectangle. And we all know the formula for calculating for the area of the rectangle. Okay, so the formula is what? Area is equal to length multiplying the width. So yes, that's it for that one. And that one too, you are supposed to display the answer. Okay, so let me copy the one for the square and just mix the changes. Yes, so you come here and you are displaying your answer. Okay, so let me scroll up a bit. In displaying my answer, I will say the area of the rectangle. Okay, so rectangle. The rectangle is what? The area. And then I'll break that case as well. Our last case, our last shape is the triangle, right? So we move on to case 3. Triangle is for case 3. So case 3, what are you supposed to do? Cout. With triangle, we need the base and the height. Okay, so you collect base and height from the user. Enter the base of the triangle, and then I'll end the line. I'll allow the user to input it. So C in what? Base. The next thing will be for the height. Let me copy and make changes. Alright, so enter the height. Because we need base and height to be able to calculate for the area of a triangle. So height, and the C is going to be for height. Great. Now that you are done with it, we have to display the answer to the user. Okay, so this is where you see how the area of the triangle is. So that this one, so I can copy this one up here and paste it and make some small changes. Control V to paste. But please, so I have to first calculate for the area first. Okay, so I'll say area is equal to what? To be able to calculate for the area of a rectangle, the formula is half base times height. Okay, so you can write the formula as base times height. all over 2. So over 2 like this. And then you see how is the area of the triangle. So I'll make the changes here. Triangle is the area. Let me terminate this line. Great. Now that we are done with case 3, remember we said that the user is supposed to enter 4 to exit the program. Okay, so if the user wants to quit the program, you enter 4. So that one you can bring a case here. Okay, you bring a case. So that one will be case 4 because we use case 4 for that. So case 4, see out my double less than in double quotes. I'll say exiting the program. Exiting the program. I'll end the line and break it as well. Break. Great. Now in every switch case, you have to bring a default statement, okay? Because right now we have only 4 cases from 1 to 4. So in case the user enters anything apart from 1 to 4, you have to display a default statement to the user. So you bring your default case. So in the default, this is the syntax. You just write default here and then you see out something. So see out, you display something to the user. See out invalid choice. Okay, so let me just bring invalid choice. Please enter 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, so that's it. That one too, I'll end the line and break it. Then break. Great. So that brings us to the end of our switch case and the end of our program as well. We've done a lot in this program, yes. We started by declaring our variables up here. We went on to display the options. Now we brought something called switch cases, yes. So take time and go through the switch cases very well because it's quite complicated. Let's run our program and see what we have. Okay, so there is it. I've been asked to select a shape to calculate its area. Okay, so I would like to calculate for the area of a rectangle. So I'll press 2 and then you see that it has asked me to enter the length of the rectangle because I pressed 2. So I'll say I have 34.78 as my length and I'll say I have 12 as my width, and you see that it will be calculated for me as the area of the rectangle is what 417.36, and that's it. Let's try calculating for another shape and see how it goes as well. So yes, I'm going to enter for square. So let's go for square. And you see that I've been asked to enter the side of the square. I'll say 56 and then it will be calculated for me as well. You can also press 4 to exit the program. Let's try that one as well. So 4, and you see that the program will be exited. So yes, that's it for today. In today's tutorial, we've successfully been able to create a C++ application to calculate the area of different shapes. That's the rectangle, square, and triangle using the switch case, okay? And I hope you found this tutorial helpful and that you've learned something new from it. And please, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up by liking it and subscribe to our channel for more programming tutorials. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And thanks for watching. See you in our next video.